Have you ever heard of basketball? Of course you have. Almost everyone in the world has, and many of you even love and play the game. However, it has not always been so popular. It came from nothing, it has gone through many changes, and has eventually become one of the most popular sports in the world. But how exactly did it start? What changes did it go through? And what is the game like today? In 1891, Dr. Luther H. Golick requested James Naismith to invent a sport to play during the winter months. He tried at first by combining football and soccer, but then soon realized it was too violent and pretty destructive in the indoors. And then he made 13 rules and finished the creation in 2 weeks. And today, 6 of those 13 rules still apply, such as not being allowed to travel and using your hands to influence the direction of the ball in any direction. He took 2 peach baskets and an old soccer ball. And as you can see, that is James Naismith, the old soccer ball right there, and a peach basket. And he hung each peach basket 10 feet high on opposite sides of the floor, and they began playing their first game at a YMCA in Massachusetts, which is now Springfield College. The game consisted of 2 15-minute half times, and every time the ball was shot, it had to be retrieved. There we go. Because as you see at the bottom of the basket, when it shows, there is a bottom, so the ball doesn't fall through, and so every time the ball had to be retrieved once it was shot, and this ultimately resulted in the score being only 1-0 in the first game. But the kids didn't care because they were automatically hooked on the game. Wayne Patterson, research specialist in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, said, "The game spread through the YMCA's. The name of the game also came from the children playing, which attributes to the fact basketball is the distinction of being the only major competitive sport that began in the United States," said Mr. Branch, publisher at David McKay Company. The difference between basketball and baseball and football is baseball and football started in America, but they were developed from other sports outside of America when basketball solely came just from America. And soon the word of this new game spread to everyone, and everyone wanted in on the action. First games were just being played at YMCA's, but soon they spread to high schools and colleges, and by 1934 the first official game was played in Madison Square Garden. By the 1950s, people were so intrigued by college basketball that they eventually started paying attention to professional basketball. Now, if you backtrack to the 1937, the National Basketball League was formed, or the NBL. And sadly, it only lasted 5 years, but in the wake of its downfall, many people decided to put together their own leagues and teams and see what they could do with those. And then in 1949, 2 leagues joined together, the NBL, which had somehow come back to life, and then the Basketball Association of America, or the BAA, joined together to form the National Basketball Association, which is what we have today. Now that the NBA has been established, let's bask in the glory of the modern era of basketball. First off, many changes had to happen to the game to get it to where it is today. At one point in history, the league experienced a time where not too many people were very fond of the game, and it saw its lowest ever ratings in ticket sales and TV ratings. But today, it's at its most highest level of popularity in the whole world, and it's seen its best TV ratings ever. The average price for tickets has almost doubled since the start of the NBA, and all this enabled professional basketball players to go from merely sports stars to cultural icons, said Hall of Famer Dr. Staffo, professor at Stillman University. When the league first began, the average player salary was about $4,500, and today the average salary is around $6 million, which puts that as the highest, says the highest outcome out of any professional sport. And like Dr. Staffo said, NBA players are viewed as gods now, largely because of their statistical value. Every year now, teams compete in the playoffs to reach the finals and eventually make it to the finals to win the coveted Larry O'Brien championship trophy. Other changes include addition of the shot clock to speed up gameplay, basketball changing from an actual soccer ball to an actual basketball, you see, that's one of the earliest basketballs, and that's what we have today now. And the nets, and there's been many other countless rule changes that aren't even worth getting into, many other things that one couldn't possibly imagine. And my favorite one of all, basketball is now a sport in the Olympics, which America has consistently dominated in the past couple of Olympics. Finally, probably one of the greatest things to ever happen to basketball, short shorts. Woo, look at those legs. Finally changed into what we have now today. And I think many of us are very happy about that. The game of basketball came from nothing. It has never stayed the same, but it is still won over the hearts of many people in the world. It started with a man given an assignment to create a game during the winter months. It's constantly changed the fans' will, and it's and it is a sport known worldwide.
America is the birthplace of many wonderful things. Freedom, muscle cars, rock and roll, pet rocks, and basketball. In 1891, James Naismith created an indoor athletic distraction for rowdy young YMCA whippersnappers. He had to involve all the boys with a budget of nothing. Zippo, nada, zilch. Using an old soccer ball and 2 peach baskets nailed 10 feet off the ground, a small group of YMCA boys began a game that would evolve into a global love affair with slam dunks, snazzy shoes, and tall heroes. What started from nothing has turned into a whole lot of something. That's America for you, the birthplace of all things awesome. America is the birthplace of many wonderful...
Most importantly from the speech, I want you to remember to take one point away, that ball is life. That's good. I was just trying
Okay, all right, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much. And thank you, Micah. All right, ladies and gentlemen.